So the organic solar-powered Filipino lawnmowers are doing a fantastic job. Good job, guys. Couldn't be happier with them. All the unwanted flowers that my wife planted, they got rid of those. I mean, she didn't want the actual flowers on the plants. And the 2 mango trees that we put up, now they look like sticks out of the ground, which is of course perfect, because when you plant mango trees, you don't want leaves on them. I mean, you prefer that they just look like this, because that's a beautiful mango tree. Look at that. Good job, guys. Appreciate all the hard work. Okay, so we now have the backwash valve in, which is great because now we can hook up the filter. That's one of those things you want to be cautious with, because on the unit at the store, it was on the unit. And then we got to the house, we took the filter out of the box, we started setting everything up, checking the pipe sizes, and realized the backwash valve wasn't attached to it. We call the store and they say, we don't have any stock. We're like, well, it was on the unit when we bought it. And they're like, well, we don't have any, so we don't know what to tell you. But it's a little different when you're dealing with a Home Depot, a Lowe's, a Walmart, Amazon, and you just tell them that you have that kind of a problem. It's not a big deal. So they're just going to send it to you because that's how it was on display and that's what we purchased. However, when it got delivered, it wasn't on there after we took it out of the box. But then when we call them, they tell us they don't have any, and they just don't know what to tell us. So it's one of those things you want to be cautious with, because in the Philippines it's a little different. We have a printed out receipt, kind of. But if they don't have any, then they just don't have any. So arguing, complaining, calling, talking to a manager, you're not going to get anywhere. And if anything, one of the employees is just going to get in trouble, and it probably wasn't anyone in particular's fault. They probably just had it on there and didn't realize that it wasn't part of the unit, and someone took it off. But anyways, it is what it is. Okay, so if you're looking over there, before we had a massive hole in the ground, so it looks 100 times better because the skimmer is installed and it looks really good. Very happy with that. Very happy with that. And obviously, you're looking at it right now. It's come, a long way. All the tile is done. So the tile work is all in the pool, as you can see, and as of right now we are grouting it all. Okay, so also if you're looking at it, we installed white rock going around the edge for a trim and for safety. You're going over to the edge, you're grabbing it, stuff like that. That's something that was a little tricky, because once we put it on, it was yellower than in the picture. So we ended up having to get a 2-part epoxy to put over it, and then it looks really good. So obviously you can see the white area. We still have a lot of cleaning up around it to do, and the grout work isn't done by any means. But this color white looks a lot better than the yellow that is back there. So I'm going to be really happy with the rest of that when it's all done. Just to be cautious, what I did, I was really nervous that it was going to stay attached to the rock. So I took a piece, we made a trim, for example, and then we put all the white epoxy over it, and then we waited 3 or 4 days, and then we threw it on the ground. We stood on it, we grabbed it, we tried to scratch the paint or the epoxy off of it. I wanted to make sure before we did the whole pool that we were 100% positive that epoxy was going to stay on top of the rocks, because obviously it was meant to be mixed in with the rocks and then stick on the edge. But of course, as you can see, the color yellow that was in the bag is not white, which is what we were going for. So anyways, we already tested that and demoed it, and I cannot get the epoxy off, so I'm very happy with that. So as you can tell, we haven't finished the grout work. I know I already said that, and we still have to put in all the 2-part white epoxy on the stairs. He started to get those masked up, but he'll do that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. But I mean, I'm really happy with the skimmer. As you can see, that has come a long way from the last video. And yeah, the pool's looking really good. I'm really happy with the tile and grout work that we have had done. We'll be done that soon. That's one of those things that can be really tricky when you're living in the Philippines. So to give you an example, the foreman told us how much grout he thought he was going to need. So we purchased an extra 2 or 3 bags to be safe. Don't quote me here. He didn't get anywhere near halfway done the pool because he's not used to doing grout work around 1-inch tile. I mean, this surface is huge compared to, you know, a portion of a kitchen that he might be doing, which isn't even common for him around here. So that being said, we ended up having to go to 11 or 12 different hardware stores to try and put together enough grout to do the rest of the pool. I would go to one hardware store, they would have two bags of the blue. Another hardware store would have one bag, some might have zero. Point being is, we went in the directions we can go in, which is north and south. There's really nothing west of me, and to the east is all ocean. But we went up and down to all the hardware stores to put together enough grout to get this done. So when I say that, our last trip, when I knew I needed about 3 more bags to be safe, I wanted 5 or 6, we had to drive all the way to Dumaguete. So it took us an hour and a half-ish each way. We made a day of it, and we had a really good time. We went to the movies and stuff, so it wasn't anything negative. I love where I live, and even when we have to go for a drive, it's still beautiful, and it's such a great country, so I'm not negative about it. But you know, either way, we didn't want to keep stopping production. But you go into a hardware store and they'll have either 0 bags or they'll have 1 or 2, and when you're like, oh, I'm doing a whole pool, they're like, oh, I mean, they don't have those kind of excess supplies. And unfortunately, when you're talking to the hardware stores, you try to ask them, when can you get more, or when will you have enough in stock? And the response is going to be, I don't know, sir. And then they really don't have an answer. They don't have like a computer system where they're looking these things up like you would in another country with a Home Depot or a Lowe's or a Walmart, or where they can tell you our other hardware store has it in stock. So we'd be at City Hardware and we would say, what other branches just has this? And they would say, we don't know. We don't have their phone number. Or when can you get more? And they would say, you know, I don't know. So those are the kind of things where the infrastructure shows a little bit, so you just want to prepare and plan the best that you can. I thought I did. Honestly, I thought I had enough grout when we started this, and I knew we didn't start the tile work until we had all the tile in, because I knew that could be a problem. If you run out of stock, you don't know when you're going to get it again, or if they'll ever get it. So anyways, I'm not a tile expert, so I wish I had a better idea on how much grout I would have needed or known that I would have needed prior. But either way, we have it all. They're working on it right now, and we're going to be done shortly. So really happy with the pool so far. I mean, it's come a long way. And when it's done in the next, I don't know, 1 to 2 weeks, then I'll do a total cost. I don't want to do that right now. A lot of people ask those kind of questions, and they want me to put numbers together on what I've spent total for this or what I've spent total for that. But when I'm not done, or I'm halfway done, I don't think that's very fair of me to say it cost me $2,000 or $10,000 or whatever it did. I like to have accurate information. So when this is done, let's say it's in a week or 2 weeks, then I can say to everyone, this is how many hours it took. Here's how many total bags we use of the white rock, how many bags of the grout, how many tile we used, and here's the total cost for this size pool anyways. Going from the city to the province, I ran into 4 different price increments coming out all this way. So just something to factor in. When we're only buying a couple bags of grout, not a big deal. But when you're trying to build an entire house, it's a huge deal, because the price was literally doubling and more than that. So when I say that, and if you're buying large bulk of cement, rebar, anything you're buying, roofing material, stuff like that, you don't want to times your cost by 2.5 times. Now, when we're just wrapping up things, like I said, an extra 2 bags or 10 bags total of grout at 50 peso, whatever, you know, that's not that's not something we're going to freak out about. But when you're buying tile for your whole house, or granite, and all the expensive items that you might spend in between $1,000 on, or $10,000 or $20,000, you don't want to spend, you know, $15,000 to $25,000 when you could have spent, you know, $5,000 to $10,000. Okay, next up we have a little gym update. I'm not going to get too crazy with the gym because most people actually could care less about a gym, but there has been a few guys asking me, and it's, you know, I love to work out, so to me it's important. Okay, so I got the double-ended bag hung up. That's obviously pretty easy. I'm not going to make that sound complicated by any means. I got the speed bag mounted over there. I finally got the punching bag or the heavy bag hung up. Really happy with that because I really needed it. The slider is not done, so I actually spent $1 on that carpet and I wrapped it around it so I can move it back and forth if I need to, but otherwise it's not damaging the paint and it's hung there. All three of these, just to give you guys my opinion, I'm not saying it's advice or you should or shouldn't do it, I bought all those in the States. So the reason why I bought all of these in the States is I was able to get the best price and the best quality on the equipment at hand, and then I threw them in LBC shipping boxes and it cost me very, very little. So all three of those I was able to purchase empty. For example, like even the heavy bag, I contacted the company and I asked them if I could purchase it empty, and they said yeah, sure. They gave me a link to a website and I purchased it for almost nothing. It was cheap compared to buying it filled, and then it was folded up. I just threw it in an LBC box, but I know it has a great warranty and they have really great reviews. Okay, last we have the cable pulley machine. Real quick, what I'm actually doing is filling buckets with cement and then having a rebar hook sticking out of them so that I can just simply hook on whatever size I want to use, and then I can lift it up and then put it back in the corner. Okay, I got the dumbbell rack all installed. Again, it's a construction site, so you can ignore all the random crap. But yeah, we got some paint work to do in here, but I'm happy with the dumbbell rack. I got the bench over there. Yeah, so the way it sits, honestly, I couldn't be happier about the way the gym's looking. I can do everything I need to do. I've spent less than, I want to say $1,000 total, and that includes all the flooring, which I just put in. I got some green screen over there. I'm going to get rid of that, and we're actually going to put in a fence, half wall and then half fence. Only because the cats and dogs keep running in here. They're getting fur everywhere. I'm worried they're going to pee on the floor. So I wasn't expecting to block these, but again, we're going to put up like a half wall and then some screen. But all the equipment, half of it I purchased in the States, so it was very, very good quality. I could ship it inside of LBC boxes, so the price was really good. And honestly, guys, listen, I get it. It's not the most beautiful gym. It's not perfect. It has a lot of flaws. It doesn't have the fancy high-end equipment. I have a homemade cable machine, you know, random pieces from different brand names. I get it, okay? It's not something I would try to open as a business, but let's be honest here. There's a bunch of coconut trees right over there. I mean, palm trees all around me. There's two massive mango trees sitting there. And then it looks like the jungle, and the ocean and the beach is right there. I can walk through my living room and go swimming in my pool. I couldn't be happier. I'm grateful and ecstatic every day. I can come out here, I can work out, do whatever I need to do. And the fact is, your muscles don't care what color it is or if it looks pretty or the brand name on it. Those things really don't matter in life. I'm just grateful and happy I can come out here. And I put this thing together for, like I said, very, very cheap compared to the other alternatives that I looked at, which would have cost me, whether I shipped it from the US, then it was going to be in the $8,000 to $10,000 range, or I put it together from a company over here, and it still would have cost me 3 or 4 times more than what I spent. So either way, for what I have invested, I'm very happy that I have a home gym. And again, my smoothie machine is right over there, my Ninja, and I can walk through and jump in my pool. I'm happy. I don't care if it's not the most beautiful gym. I have my generator for the entire house as a backup. Really? Right now? I have the backup generator for the house sitting right over there. It finally showed up. We've been busy. It actually showed up a little close to 2 weeks ago. But, ow, jeez. What are you doing? All right, so I'll get into depth on this in the next video just to give you just rude. They just don't care. So if you decide to buy Filipino lawnmowers, the females are really nice, the males not so nice. Okay, so just to give you guys a heads up, something that's going to come up in the next video or maybe the video after, the electrician came in because I have a backup generator to support the whole house if we ever have a problem with the solar, or two, we have a problem just having electricity in general. So what he's going to do is run the power line that's going to the house. That's going to be now run to the garage. Then there's going to be a transfer switch in the garage where if we have a power outage, solar's down, whatever's going on, all I have to do is hit the switch, the generator automatically starts up, and then the house will run off of that. That'll be in the next video because I want to actually get it installed and run the wire. We just got the wire in not yesterday, the day before. We got the switch in the day before, so we got everything we need now so we can put it together. But I'll get into that when we actually have it and everything's not sitting there in boxes. But just to give you guys a heads up, that's a big priority to me. I like to always have a backup plan, and if anything, my backup plan also has a backup plan. I know I worry too much and I'm cautious, but things happen, and when you're around here it can be more complicated. So spending a little bit of money on a good quality generator to me is very important. I'm not going to say it's a must or you have to have it. That would be an opinion. But to me, in my opinion, it was important for us to have that. A couple people asked me in the comment section regarding what brand generator should I buy. I hate to give advice on that because that's really opinion based and it's negotiable, and 10 people could have 5 different opinions, for example. I have a few brand names that I really trust in the US, and the corporation that I work for, I would purchase, not exaggerating here, 50 to 70 75 Generacs per year generators. Westinghouse I would only buy about 20. We were only using those for the last 2 years, and then Honda I was purchasing in between 40 and 50 a year. So I can say on average I was buying in between 100 and 150 generators a year for the company I worked for. So I have a pretty strong opinion on what will last and what won't, because I can show people specs on, hey, I had 50 of these units, I know how often they went down and what the common problems were, I have them on spreadsheet. So but again, if you're moving to the Philippines and you're asking me that question, it's different, because let's be honest here, most of those generators that I might recommend or I would like in the US, one, you can't purchase them here. So instantly, yes, you could still ship it over, but if you need parts for it, you need to have it serviced. You're having some type of issue. Maybe you even want to replace it or something like that. You're going to have a problem if they don't sell that, at least that brand or manufacturer over here. Not necessarily that exact model, but buying something like that is going to make it a lot more complicated. So that being said, I chose to go with a Honda. Honda, in my opinion, just an opinion, don't jump on me, tends to be a little overpriced compared to one or two of the competitors. They're excellent quality, they really are. I'm not disagreeing with that. However, there's quite a few makes and models from another company that I can say would usually save me 30 to 60%, sometimes a little more, and would be just as good. And when I say that, if I had 25 of each of them running for 5 years and they were lasting the same amount of time, I'm confident in saying that, it wouldn't actually be worth to spend the additional money. However, if it's a company that you can't buy the generator over here, I'm going to say spend the extra 30, 40, 50% and go with something like a Honda. At least that's what I did, because Honda is popular over here, right? I mean, anywhere in Asia, they're all over the place. So I can buy parts for this generator. I can have it serviced or warranted, or any type of issue I'm not worried about. Some of the competitors that might have been a little cheaper, is that going to be worth it for me to get it? And then I can't fix it if something goes down or anything else. So again, that's just opinion based. You can do whatever you want. But I thought it was important to, one, have a generator, and two, have one that I could repair and service when needed. Because I don't ever buy anything ever saying, if it goes down, if it breaks. I always say to myself, not if, when. Because then I have a plan when it goes down, when there's an issue, how can I address it? So in the next 1 to 2 weeks, I'll have a solid solar update for everyone. I want to get the electric bill in, and then I can actually say 100% fact, here's what we spent, here's what we saved, here's what how much less we're actually paying, and everything else. I'll put that all together for you guys. I've gotten a lot of questions, but when I only had solar for 2 or 3 weeks and I haven't gotten a bill yet, I hate to say. I mean, then I'm just guessing and I could get a bill and then I'm way off and I look like a jerk. That's not my style. I'd rather just wait a little bit and have facts. We did get a second wattage and voltage meter. So when I say that, now we can check as far as what goes from the line into the house, so we can make sure that that solar box is actually accurate. Because I hate to wait to the end of the month or another month, find out there's an issue, and then it's too late. It was worth just spending, it was less than $40 for the box, and then we can keep an eye on what's going on. And that's important to us also because we're going to have the backup generator. All right, everyone, thank you for watching. A lot more videos to come. I actually have 2 or 3 more recorded that I haven't uploaded because I wanted to be a little farther along with the pool, and we kept running into the grout problem. But either way, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. And if you like these videos at all, just do me a favor and hit the like button. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon.